Hello and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? Back from Italia? How was the European vacation? I kept up on all the Instagram stories and posts. Loved it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great. I wish I had something funnier to say about it. It was just like a quintessential beautiful Italian vacation. I had an amazing time. Ate all the pasta.
Yeah. You
drank
look
all
refreshed.
the wine.
I feel like I look the opposite of you. I look tired and haggard, and you look like you just came back from an Italian villa. And did you and Mike, was it when you go on a vacation like that with your husband?
Mm-hmm.
What is the feeling? Is there do you have this moment of like, I can't believe I'm away with my husband on an Italian vacation? I don't know. Is there relationship moments where you're like, it's almost like the second honeymoon? Like, how does it?
In a way, I mean, we did a boat day in Lake Como.
Saw the boat day. My brother,
Yeah.
he messaged you.
He messaged me with his boat guys.
Does that get annoying? Everyone's got a boat guy. Everyone's got a boat person.
It wouldn't have been no. I didn't think it was annoying, but I already had like a boat reservation. But
Right.
it was nice. I'm sure his boat guy was great. We actually got the boat where you drive it yourself.
That was what my brother said. He was like, driving themselves, huh? And he wasn't sure how that would work out.
I actually really liked it. I mean, I didn't drive the boat. Mike did.
Okay. Does he have any boating experience? Do you feel safer because it's a lake?
I think yeah, probably. It's like not crazy chores or anything like that.
Right.
And he was like, they let anyone do it, so it's not that hard.
It's like a U-Haul. Anyone can just pick one up.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no like special license or anything. They let anyone do it, and he did it, and it was great. And I actually enjoyed not having an extra person on there.
Right, you have to kind of like be a different person around like Captain John.
Exactly. And
Captain Giuseppe.
And then you feel it's almost like you feel a little weird that they're like driving and you're just kind of like lounging. I don't know.
Yeah, we're trying to fuck on this boat. Get out of here, Giuseppe. Close your eyes. Yeah.
It was nice, like the privacy of it.
Of course.
I think. Yeah. And
I'd rather that. My brother was like, I don't know, you need a driver. I was like, what are you, the parent, what's wrong with you? Let them go on their boat.
Yeah, no, I preferred it. I mean, I also wasn't driving. So
right.
It was like,
it's not your responsibility.
I was just kind of sitting in the front, just like chilling, like tanning. And he was driving, but he really liked driving.
Of course.
So it was great. Yeah. It was a vibe. That was like one of the greatest days.
A day you'll never forget.
A boat day is amazing. Is
nothing
there
like a
anything
boat
better
day.
than being on a boat?
No, there really isn't. You're on a boat and it kind of makes you reflect on life a little bit. You're like, look at us on a boat, just the
life
sunset.
Is good.
Life is good.
Yes.
Cheersing Prosecco. I'm sure this was. Do you have like a charcuterie board out on the boat? What kind of food situation? Do you have to bring your own?
Well, we brought some of our own, but then we stopped for lunch at one of those places where you can like dock.
Life is good.
Yeah, it was just like, that's what I'm saying. It was like lovely. It was my only complaint about the trip is that it was so fucking hot.
Right.
It was like in the 90s, and I like it to be hot. I'm like a hot weather person, maybe not as much as Candace, but I definitely like it warm. But it was sweaty. It was a sweaty trip.
Well, especially when you're in Italy, like the Lake Como day, hop in the lake.
Yeah.
But then I always think about that, like when you tour Europe, like it's not like it's like we're not doing beach days. Like you guys are like
right, especially like the Tuscany, you're like drinking
right.
the wine. But again, that's like the most luxury. I should have talked about this on Luxury Lounge.
Yes, you should. I love this.
The best place on the internet.
Thank you. Yeah, I built the lounge with my bare hands to make sure people had a place to complain about things like this.
It's amazing because like even talking about like the weather, I feel like this is like a little crazy.
You deserve it. This is great. I'm happy you guys had a great time.
It was lovely. I feel refreshed. It's nice to be back though. I do get to a point on a vacation. I think a week is like the perfect vacation length.
Yeah.
Because after that I am like, all right.
Enough's enough.
I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. You're just like, I got things to do.
Yeah,
you want to feel well. That's the thing.
I want to be in my own bed,
right? That, and you want to feel like worthy. Like
right.
there's.
I want to get back to work.
Yeah, I want to like feel like I do things in society. I don't. That's the thing with some of these people on the European trips that are like gone for a month, and you watch it on Instagram stories. You're like, isn't there a point where they're like, I'm a little embarrassed.
Right. Even towards the end, that's what I think. I think the posting is like much more intense at the beginning of a trip.
Yes.
And then by the time you get to day 6, and then someone's like, "Oh, are you still there?"
Right.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Are
like
you still
slow
there?
down the posting so
Yeah.
that I don't seem, because then you just feel like an asshole.
I listen.
You
I
know?
hear. I mean, listen. I'm on week 2 of the special being out, and I'm like, has this thing been out for 6 years? Like I
Well, you're
have.
still on the circuit.
I am.
so-
That's why I'm so haggard. I haven't shut the fuck up. I've gone on every podcast. I mean, I just like literally. My aunt. I was just talking to her on podcasts. Like it's gotten ridiculous. Like
Do you feel you've oversaturated yourself?
I don't know. The thing is, everyone's in their different silos. So like, there's people that are like huge You Up fans that don't listen to
Right.
anything else, and vice versa. It goes all ways. So like, it is. I do get. It's actually bizarre. So first, let me thank the listeners here. You guys are the gas to the J train. You guys have really come together to push this special. I felt it. It's amazing. Thank you. And then you go on other shows, and then every night, the weird part is I feel people watching because of social media. Like,
okay.
so
it
you get this
feels right.
like around 6 o'clock, I go, oh, look at this. I never saw this before. Whoa. You know, the power of Netflix kind of,
Right.
you can feel it. And, you know, I want to do another Netflix special. Like that's like what I want. And, you know, I hope, you know, I don't even know how it's doing in like relation to anything else. So
They don't give you any.
I mean, I think that's what the writer's strike is all about, is that they don't really release much. I mean, I don't know if I can even say that here, but yeah, that's fine to say. I mean, what's wrong with saying that?
Yeah.
The thing is, you go, I don't know. I hope it's doing well. Like top 10 for a week. I have never seen that from another special. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
It's incredible. Have you heard from them?
I hear kind of like whispers, like you hear through other people. Oh, they're happy. They like it. Oh, it's great. I'm just happy people are laughing and enjoying. Like, I'm going on the road and I have a whole new hour. I just went to Lexington, Kentucky. Here's the one thing Netflix has done. I do feel a validation from other people.
Okay.
I gotta say, and that's really the goal of any job, is to do
Is to
something
feel
where
seen.
would feel seen. I
Yeah.
do feel seen. It is. Honestly, if Netflix gave a Letterman's jacket, I'd be wearing it to the ground. I would wear
You
the
would wear a
hat.
ring.
I'd
A
wear a
class
ring, a class
Netflix
ring. There's
ring,
no.
so-
I would wear everything.
All the cheesy shit, you would wear it. Okay.
Because I go, you know, I went to Lexington, Kentucky, and did shows, and the shows were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think more people are showing up, which I would like, you know. But you know, I have a different. I think I can feel myself more confident on stage.
Right.
I could also you know, I went and met the Triple Crown winner.
American Pharaoh.
American Pharaoh. Two
Yes.
celebrities.
Wow.
Me and
You
Pharaoh.
That was a beautiful horse.
I mean, I got starstruck from a horse. Triple Crown.
Do you think the horse knows that it's a big deal? Or not
I mean, the
really?
way that horse is living, and like, it's the Four Seasons.
Is that where all of the special award-winning horses live?
Well, Lexington generally, yeah, because Churchill Downs, like the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
So like they're all there, but that's the industry. That was the crazy part. I actually there's a YouTube video. We put up like an 8-minute video of me touring.
Did they invite you to
facility.
come tour?
This
Is
is
that
what happens,
Or
though.
you were just like, let me see what there is to do.
Yeah, I
and-
broke into the farm. I said, "Let me see American Pharaoh. Give them to me." You
No,
know,
I'm saying, is this something that anyone in Lexington, Kentucky can go do? Or is this like it's an invite-only kind of situation?
Well, I think this is kind of back to the Netflix thing. Like, you know, someone at the show, they're like, "Hey, do you want to come meet the horses?" I was
So
like,
many doors opening for you.
"The doors are opening." That's right. This is why I do it,
Right.
to go and meet these horses. So
Did the horses think the special was funny?
they didn't mention it. A little insulted. It was funny because like they were like, this woman and her boyfriend, they both work in the industry. They're like, "Do you want to come?" I was like, "Actually, I do." You know, like that'd be awesome.
Do you get to ride the horses?
No, they can you imagine? Yeah, me on top of the horse
the
in my
picture?
Netflix
Yeah.
cowboy hat.
Right. No, that's
No,
not allowed.
not
I didn't think
allowed.
so. Okay.
No, but you go and you realize that this is their oil industry. This is their Wall Street. This is their
That's interesting.
this is their fishery. You know, like it is money. You know,
Right.
like, you know, and all of it revolves around a weird topic of horse sex. Because
like
they're-
breeding.
It's
Okay,
breeding.
yeah.
That's what the
Oh,
industry
they're
is.
breeding American Pharaoh.
he's got
makes
now
sense.
a line
Right.
of kids.
Imagine if they did that with like celebrities.
It's a weird thought. Yeah. And then they show you the room where they breed. That was the thing. So I put up over the course of the weekend, I put up a clip of the joke and all this stuff. It's on my YouTube, but it's like, basically they're like, I was like, I would love to come. Can we film it? And they're like, well, you can't film the breeding. I was like, that's not what I'm looking to do. Like that is a weird
sexually exploiting the horses.
Right. I don't know. I came here to make my horse porn. What the fuck? You know, like you have this moment. So I don't know. It's kind of cool that I feel it at the shows. Like I feel people being like, oh, we're here for like a comedian who's on the rise, you know, as opposed to like some guy who's trying to do this. I don't know. And that might be in my own head, but
yeah, I think there's a validation in that. Feels like there's and that's for anything that has like a big name, you know.
Yeah.
There are people who feel that way when they go to a good school, they feel that way, or they're like, you know, it's like a signaling thing. Like it signals to the audience that you are legitimate.
I'm sure you had that with Betches. Was there like a thing that came out that made it like Betches was like real deal business to other people that you felt seen in a different way?
Well, I think it's kind of early. It was very validating because we got a book deal. Like right out of college, we got a book deal with Simon and Schuster, and I think for our parents, it was kind of like no one really knows what the hell we're doing,
right?
But then it was like someone at a brand that they know, Simon and Schuster is a real book brand, offered us a book, and I think that was kind of like legitimizing for them to be like, all right, you can keep doing it again, even though you're not making any real money. This seems like legitimate.
There's something here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that's very cool, and it is one of those
things like a Netflix. It has like, you know what I'm saying. There's a feeling of like this brand that is known,
right,
has
given the thumbs up.
Yes, given me the ability to do something.
Absolutely, and I'm on the road. So if you're out there, I mean, I'm coming. Huntington, Long Island, it's filling up. It's
a cool theater. I'm excited to go and to see you.
It looked awesome. No, it looks like an area to like hang.
Oh yeah, Huntington is like a spot. It's a big going out spot.
I might get a hotel, or maybe I could stay in the big red room that you have.
You can stay with me. We have plenty of rooms.
Okay, this might happen. I'll stick around Long Island. I'll see what it's like being suburban.
I'll take you on the big tour.
Oh, is this your Walmart? So I'm coming to Providence, Rhode Island this weekend. Can't wait to be in Providence. Love that club. Love the Comedy Connection. Atlanta, Georgia. It's filling up. There's Atlanta. That's my first theater. So that's a big deal if you're in Atlanta. Assemble the group chat. Seattle, Washington added a second show.
Wow.
Seattle has, I don't know what we're doing there, but wow, we got to do a show there. We got to do a live view up.
We did one.
We did one, but
it was 2019. It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago, but maybe they're there. So I'm going. They're back. 2 shows there. Charlotte, North Carolina. I haven't been there since the pandemic. Philadelphia added a second show. DC added a second show. Baltimore. Still working on that first show. Dania Beach, which is like Fort Lauderdale, Boca-ish. I'm there during Thanksgiving week, so that'll be fun.
That's going to be great.
If you're going back for something to do to not talk to your family.
Great time to be in Florida.
Good time, the best time. Portland, Oregon, Phoenix, Arizona, San Diego, Boston, and then Chicago sold out in pre-sale.
Amazing. Wow.
So added a second show.
Which theater?
The Vic.
The Vic. Sold out.
Before it even came out.
Amazing. Chicago is like, I think Chicago is maybe like has the best feelings towards this show and you.
I think you're right.
Like they're just a great city.
As I once said, my kind of town, Chicago. Is that what I said? Or Frank Sinatra?
One of the two of you.
One of the two. So
could be in the musical.
Chicago's like our vibe, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think like it's it's real people.
Exactly.
Just
like we're real people, just like the Chicagoans.
That's us.
Yes.
No, there's no pretense. This podcast is about an honest conversation about dating. We're gonna let it all hang out.
Yes.
Right? We're gonna talk real.
That is the goal.
The honesty that people are looking for in this dating world. That's the other thing that's been exciting. There's so much extreme out there. Like, I think the special is just like a fun special to enjoy with your boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, mama, papa. And I'm talking. And if you watch till the end, you'll see my family and the whole new hour is about my parents,
Wow.
which is like a feat.
I'm excited to see it.
It's pretty.
The entire hour is about them.
The entire
Wow.
hour. It's about going on vacation with my parents, and it's an hour of it, and it's like I keep adding to it, and it's turned into this like. I'm proud of it. Like I when I see people with their parents in the crowd and they're like hitting their dad, like he's talking about you fucking idiot. Like it's kind of cool.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, I won't be going with my parents, but I will be there
Listen,
with the other betches.
I can't wait.
Any, Sammy, Eileen. Well, Eileen will probably be like giving birth, but be there with
At the show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the opener.
I'm sure she would love that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll set up a bed and let's get that baby out there.
Yeah, I think she's due the 30th, so that would be good timing.
Perfect.
Great. Yeah.
Let's jump right in. You ready?
Let's jump right in. Also, you're doing Betches Night Out on September 20th.
Oh, I'll be doing a piece of the set there because I'm working on it. That's when I'm in the city, that's like what I'm doing. Like it's a shorter set if I'm at this Comedy Cellar, but the Betches Night Out I'm honored.
We're
to
excited.
be on the show.
I mean, it's usually all women, but we figured, who is the best friend of Betches?
There we go.
You.
I'm in. I'm truly
we're
honored.
excited to have you. And like it brings us back to our full circle to our
roots.
We're
Yeah.
used to host the Betches of Comedy Nights.
That's
So,
right.
September 20th, if you want to see Jared and some other amazing female comedians.
The lineup is
Amazing.
awesome. I know Yamaneika's on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yamaneika,
Yamaneika is so funny. Just it's
She's
just
great. She's been on your show a bunch. She's so
been on
funny.
this show. We
And
did our live show. I think she did our
yes.
Brooklyn show. The whole lineup. I was looking at the lineup. I was like, I think is Emma Willman on it?
Yes, she's
so
also
many
great.
funny people. And it's a
Great
Chelsea
lineup.
Music Hall, which is like also like on the like, what am I gonna do at like a fun New York City night? Like that is the night.
Great location.
Great location. You can go to like Los Tacos. #1 is nearby. The Tippler, as we've plugged City
Love the
before.
Tippler.
We love the Tippler. That's nearby. The Soho House, if you have a membership.
Didn't we just say we were relatable?
Yeah,
like
well,
the Chicago people.
Not anymore. Mr. Netflix over here.
Just call you Mr. Net. Should you introduce yourself that way on this show?
I
I'm
changed
Jordana
my-
Abraham, and I'm Mr. Netflix.
That's right. I changed the name of my fantasy football team
Okay.
to Netflix's Jared Free.
Oh wow, they must love that.
They
I'm
love
sure
it.
no one's talking shit about you behind your back for that.
None. Let's jump right in. Let's do it. And also, I've been listening to Oversharing. What a nice thing for me, especially like to calm myself. It's been hard to like. I've been frantic. I'm jumping on all these podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Netflix. I'm everywhere. And Oversharing has been like a nice for me. Like I love listening to the show. It's really
Thank you,
a
yeah.
calming presence in my life, to tell you the truth.
It's a calming presence in mine, to be honest. Like I feel like I get calm from Dr. Naomi.
Dr. Naomi must not have any room in the schedule anymore because
I don't think she's taking new patients.
No,
But,
okay.
no, but
Please, Dr. Naomi.
unless it was you.
Okay.
So she's taking celebrity patients, Jared.
Mr.
No,
Netflix.
but it's funny because like I do feel like the show has also just been a good outlet for catching up with my sister.
Right.
And,
it feels
you know.
you actually feel that way when you
Yeah.
listen as a outside third party.
And when we started it, that was sort of like I was kind of like, if nothing else, Naomi and I will get like an hour to catch up. It'll strengthen our relationship.
Right. Do the
I'm like
other
Adam Sandler. That's how I'm running a business, just based on
to like catch up with people I like.
Exactly.
Do the other siblings listen? Have you heard from them? Are they pitching you podcast ideas to catch up?
None of them. My siblings definitely listen. I
Yeah.
think to hear if we talk about them,
Right.
and because Naomi's also just like it's funny. She's sort of like always been like the voice of reason in like the whole family.
Okay. So
Like when
she's-
everyone else is acting
Mhm.
like the worst version of themselves, she sort of like still holds it, keeps it together.
she's a mama bear presence.
Right. She is like a like another mother. To
Another
all of
mother,
us.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, the backup.
for sure. Or the A team. I don't know.
No, you never know.
Yeah.
To some, depending on the day of the week.
Exactly.
Listen, let's
Sorry,
get
let's
right
jump right in.
What are we talking about today?
Okay, we're talking about a new zany business idea.
Okay.
Not business idea, I guess. A new zany dating idea.
I love a zany date. I love outside of the box thinking.
Yeah, and they're taking a lesson from you and making business cards for dating. I feel like I've heard some iteration of this before.
This every now and again I've heard that. I agree.
Yeah.
This comes up. Maybe I should make a business card. Maybe I should. How can I figure out this weird, wacky dating world in 2023? Everyone references the year. You know, like everyone's like, oh, dating in 2023.
I've got an idea.
Yeah. Do we want to get into it?
Let's do it. All right, I'll read it. Hi, J&J. I'm in my mid-20s, and not that I find anything wrong with being single. I wouldn't know life otherwise. I'm slowly becoming...
We believe you.
I'm in my mid-20s. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope you are feeling okay about being single. I'm slowly becoming the single friend, and it's not for lack of trying.
Okay.
Is that annoying to hear from someone in their mid-20s?
It's not annoying. It's like, yeah, but those people, it's not long view. Like, you're the single friend in your mid-20s. Well, don't worry. Some of them will be back. You know, like some of those friends are going to be single again. Don't worry. And they're going to come to you and go, oh, I was 29 and I was on my way to the suburbs and I was about to be chosen. And then it breaks up and now they're back with you.
That's true.
So-
I dreamed a dream. My friends all found their boyfriends and girlfriends back in college through work or lucked out fairly quickly on the apps. Apps just aren't my thing. They feel like a second job. I have a harder time wanting to engage after a few swipes or flat conversations, and I feel like boredom or lack of interest isn't as quick when you've met IRL. What do you think about dating business cards or giving out bracelets with my number? It seems fun and unconventional, but will it solve my issue or will it give a bad impression? Trying to start a conversation with someone just trying to enjoy their coffee or get through their commute seems more annoying than quickly slipping them something that lets them know I think they're cute and I'd be interested in getting to know them more. But I'm in my mid-20s, haven't secured a date, and you've had years of dating stories, so I figured you were the best ones to ask for an open mind.
We're going to give you an open mind. We're going to make fun of you.
You old ass people might have a better...
You guys have had eons of being alone and single to talk to me about.
Yes.
Thank you. Well,
Well,
I don't think hawking a bracelet at someone that you think is cute is
the move.
The move.
Yeah. Well,
But
let's say you were out. Someone gives you there's a woman who gives you a bracelet. It has her
Right.
number on it or a business card or something like that. Like,
I'm going to give a hard truth.
okay.
Okay? And listen, this is all
Let's
fun.
hear it. That's what this is
This
for.
is what this is for.
Yes.
There is no wacky idea that outdoes attraction.
Okay.
So, do I want to fuck you? And you gave me a bracelet? Great. I got this cool bracelet from this chick I want to fuck. And again, when we get in the world of looks, everyone has a different type. Everyone's into something different. Everyone's into...
You're attracted, right? Yeah.
If the person's attracted, yeah, I guess this makes it more fun and different, but it doesn't, here's what it does. If you're looking at it from the perspective, like, does this bracelet in your hand make you more, like, outgoing? Because it might. Like, I could understand where having this business card or having this bracelet to give to a guy that you think is cute makes you approach a guy you think is cute, which, great. I don't think from the other end, it gets you more dates.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think if it was the reverse, if it was like a guy with the bracelets or the
Right.
business, I would be like, it's a little try hard to me. It's
Yes.
like a kind of like, also you've pre-made them. You're not just giving it to me. You're giving it to, like, it doesn't feel that romantic. It's like you're giving them out.
You mean to tell me that a man sitting at home making GIMP bracelets to prospective
number.
dates with his number on it doesn't turn you on?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There takes away a feeling of like specialness. One, it feels like a little desperate, I think, especially from a guy, maybe more so. I think
this isn't gonna work for a guy. This isn't gonna work.
yeah.
You actually have made your chances less.
Right.
I think for a guy, right?
I'm kind of like, why do you need this?
Right. What's going on?
Right.
Where's the the towel with the gas that's gonna knock me out?
Right.
Right? It doesn't.
Yeah.
I would think.
I mean, would you feel that way in terms
not
of
from a woman?
No.
We wouldn't think of that way.
You wouldn't be like, oh, she like needs to pull this whole trick.
If she didn't have the personality to back it up. That's the other thing. Like, sometimes these ideas are made to not have to be you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like sometimes the joke is too much. It's like when someone dresses up for Halloween and becomes the character because they want to get out of their own, you know, because it's their only night to let their freak flag fly. You know,
Right.
like you go, okay, can you stop impersonating Britney Spears for 5 minutes so I can know who you are?
Right.
You know, so I think sometimes these things, listen, if you're the type, if you have the personality that matches giving out a business card, yeah, okay, but I don't think it, I don't think it will.
Well, here's my other question.
Sure.
And I think it's a little different, like you said, for women, maybe also because it could be more about sex for you. But do you think that would, like, if someone gave you that card, they was basically saying, like, I'm interested, probably means you could sleep with them. Would it be like, you might be more likely to sleep with them, but still be like kind of turned off in a dating sense of like, I don't know if I'm going to date you because like this is a little weird?
No. You know, I understand what you're saying.
I don't mean to be icky for you.
No.
But
oh, I got my chance to fuck now. I'm like rubbing my hands
like,
together as I'm wearing her bracelet.
Like, yeah, I'll do it, but like I don't know if I'm like.
I think that's the nature of any person approaching you in a bar is like, where do I stand here?
Right.
But I do think, again, like the personality has to match it. Like I think like
they have to be just like the type that's so outgoing that they would be doing that.
Right. And maybe, and I do understand what they're saying about the apps. They want to get away from the apps. Fine. I hear that, you know? So I think if this gets you more excited about meeting people in bars, this is good for you.
Right.
But it's not going to change the other end of things. I do think if you approach more, you will have more fun, you know? And I can understand how this would be motivating. Like, I made these cards. This is kind of fun. I don't think it would work for a dude. I think like this is
like for a guy doing it.
Like you've said a lot. Like, and this is something I've learned from you. Like, is this a joke to you?
Right. Well, it's also because you were not making one. You're probably making several, and I think that's also kind of like it feels a little.
Right.
Like,
I wouldn't need to feel special. Like my head wouldn't go to like.
You wouldn't be like, well, she gave one to this. How many guys have you given those to?
Right. I wouldn't even. It would like take a month for me to go. I guess she did make more than one. You know, like it wouldn't even occur to me. I do think these things, they don't ring sad to me. It's just more like. I again, like if they came out to me and they're like, here's my business card, all my friends are in relationships, this is why I made them.
I wouldn't start like that. Right,
maybe not a good start. Well, if we're at a fun bar and you're out with friends, like I want the perfect bar approach, and we are we are in bar approach season. We are in the fall.
Football season.
Football season is a great way to go out. It's a great way to meet people in person. It's a great excuse to get together with your old friends, especially college football season. That's kind of an excuse that gets people together. So if there was a woman with 3 of her friends, they're all having drinks and they're having a good time, and then she slips me a business card that says, I think you're cute. Awesome.
Okay.
Great. Then I'm going to go, do I think she's cute? That's all. And that's where the parade kind of ends. And that's where the ickiness starts, because that card from someone I'm not there for.
You might, it's kind of like, again, like a Bumble. We talk about this with Bumble. It's like, well, they're interested. I guess I could do it.
Right. It does have I'm going to talk to you. I know you're interested. But I think I think there's better alternatives to making a Taylor Swift friendship bracelet.
Well, here's the other thing about it, too, is I feel like in an ideal situation, if we think about meeting someone in the wild, there's something nice that you don't get on the apps that's sort of like this person could just be like out there enjoying their life and like not even thinking about dating. And then it just happened to like, do you know what I mean? There's somewhat of a like mystery and like a sexiness to, I'm just kind of like out having fun and we'll see what happens. And you don't get that on the apps.
Right.
And I think to make these business cards almost feels like you're taking that element of the apps and bringing it into the real world of like, this is a premeditated thing where I'm telling you that like, this is what I'm here for. It's not like sparks fly.
Right. You're so right, because the apps were made to create safety, that you're not going to get turned down. You get a little green light above their head that says, I'm attracted to you.
Right.
And these cards bring that safety to real life, exactly what you're saying. And it, again, like there's something hot to the meet cute. It's the
Yeah.
you're in the bar that I was of
just happened to be
all
here.
the gin joints.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like I think this person's way better off putting their energy into plans with friends around college and professional football. Like I really do. Also, the beauty of college and professional football, it's a daytime hangout. So people aren't, it's not dark in the bar. It's not people wasted.
Mm-hmm.
People are generally at the beginning of the games more sober. They're there. They're
Right.
more themselves than they are at night.
Yeah, because they're there for a reason. They're not just there to like go out and
Right.
prowl potentially.
And there's safety of you know, if you're at a especially a college football game, all the people there are there for the team, so the school, so there's
Right.
commonality.
Well, that adds also like the getting rid of the pretense of like we're all just here to fuck.
Right.
Like we're here for like at least seemingly another reason.
Right.
Of like the game or
And
whatever.
you have a friend in common. Oh, my friend went, like, I'll use Penn. I went to Penn State. When Penn State plays, it is a bar full of Penn State people and friends of Penn State people.
Right.
You know, and you go, oh, so who's that? And then you can fix yourself up. Like when you go to these bars, oh, who's that guy? Oh, well, he was in this fraternity, knew this guy, knew this, you know, oh, and I think he had a girlfriend. I think they broke up. Okay, now you get the deal.
Right.
You've now, okay, can you put a word in? See if he's single. Just see if they're single is like a great way to tell someone.
Right. And then but
I
then
want
put
to
it
be
in their
fixed up
hands.
with them.
Yeah. I agree.
So I think there's like, you know, the investment in, you know, cards
Bracelets.
and bracelets and the time spent
Right.
could also be an investment in
Having fun.
and a Penn State hat.
Yeah.
Like the money could be better spent.
I agree. I think and again, I think it'll be more natural and fun and like less, I think lower stakes when you do it that way.
Absolutely. I'm going to be out football all day. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Football season.
Are you gonna be home on Sunday? You mean in New York on Sundays?
I'm going to try. I love a New York football Sunday because
It's
it's
great.
transplants too.
Yeah.
It's not one
great
team.
time and just the best season of New York.
It is. It's fuck season.
There we go.
I've said this. How many years have we
Yeah.
said this on this podcast?
The mayor was thinking of renaming, the month. The
Jared
National
free,
Fuck Season. in
Jared
September.
Netflix freed fuck season here in New York City. Let's do some awkward sex. You ready?
Okay.
Hi, J&J. This happened a few years ago with my ex, and I can laugh about it now, so I hope it gives you a good laugh. At the time, it was February in Boston.
Brr.
Brr, February in Boston.
Is that a song?
Not fuck season there. More like sit at home and get fat season. I was living in an apartment with two roommates and my boyfriend came over to hang out. We're in my room making out when I decide to light a candle on my nightstand to create a little ambiance. We're getting hot and heavy, taking off each other's clothes, etc. At which point I'm naked and he's in his boxers when he starts to go down on me.
Fun times.
Yum, 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 yum.
What else is there to do with Boston in February?
Right. Go downtown. For the first couple of minutes, I was totally lost in the moment until the smoke alarm in my room started going off and blaring the high-pitched beep, beep, beep. As soon as I heard it, I realized that I could smell smoke, and I looked to my right and saw that my pillow had caught fire. It had slipped off the bed during our sexual activities and onto the bedside table, directly on top of the candle that I had lit. I immediately panicked when I saw the huge flame shooting up off the pillow and tried to blow it out, wave it with my arms, but it was way too much fire to go out with just that. Oxygen is good for the flame.
Yes.
I want to stamp it out, I think. Don't take that advice here. I don't know what I'm talking
It's Fire Marshal Freed.
That's right. Fire Marshal Netflix free. Luckily, my boyfriend at the time was a little bit of a quicker thinker than me and grabbed the glass of water I had nearby to pour it on it, but it did little to put out the flame. After a few seconds and realizing that wouldn't be enough to put out the fire, he grabbed the flaming pillow and ran out of the living room and out the back door of my apartment and ended up throwing it in a snowbank to put out the flame. While he did that, I grabbed a towel to wrap myself in and went out to the living room kitchen where both my roommates had been looking at the smoke alarm trying to shut it off. We had many false alarms in this apartment with our smoke detectors. But they knew it wasn't false because they had clearly seen my boyfriend sprint outside seconds earlier with a flaming pillow and were staring at me, clearly trying not to laugh. At this point, my boyfriend came back inside, still only in his boxers, and with an extremely charred pillow in his hands. Needless to say, we all died laughing. Honestly, this could have been really, really bad. At the time, I had a tapestry hanging above my bed. I was 23. Give me a break. And the fire was dangerously close to reaching the tapestry, and I can only imagine if the tapestry had caught fire and that my entire room and maybe our whole apartment could have burned down. This person's the person that can't just like tell the story and then has to like make you feel like the biggest piece of shit. You know, like, and then the apartment would have burned down and we all would have had cancer. It's like, what? Why?
But it didn't.
Right. Thanks. I'm lucky it didn't reach that point, but let this be a PSA to never light a candle near your bed, especially if you're planning on having sex near the flame. From this day on, I have only ever lit candles on my dresser, which is far away from my bed as possible. Sincerely, Sex Extinguisher. What do you think?
This is a big fear of mine.
I think about it every time I light a candle.
Same. You like candles?
Oh, big candle guy.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have predicted that.
Yeah, I light a candle and then I check it before I leave, even though I hadn't, leave for vacation, even though I haven't lit it since a month ago.
I've left candles burning when I've left my apartment. I love candles.
Yeah.
And that's a constant fear of mine. It's a constant fever dream.
The candle game, I mean, the price difference in candles is like crazy.
Oh, yeah. Like an expensive candle is...
do not light a diptyque. I have learned that. Those are not for lighting. Sacred.
Yes.
Yeah. I like a candle during sex. I think it's fun.
Oh, you do light it?
Oh,
You'll
light
light
the
it.
candle.
Wow.
Put on the Dave Matthews.
Can I have a question?
Yes.
What point do you light the candle? Like as soon as you get back to the
While
apartment?
they're blowing me.
No pun intended.
No, yeah, right. Don't blow too hard. You might turn off that candle. No, when do you light it? Like
wait till we used to make a candle at Betches that said, "Wait till you see my wick."
I'll put on my satin robe, open, completely naked underneath. I'll lay the woman down on the bed, and then I turn on the Dave Matthews. Da, 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 da.
There you go.
Da, and then I hit the flame, turn it on. She's wet as hell by that point.
Really setting the scene.
That's right. When do you light the candle?
I wouldn't light it like at that. I'm saying I haven't really lit it in like a sexual sense, but like because I would have that fear of like I'd forget to blow it out. But
I put it like across the room too. I also like the smell. Hell, like I gotta cover up. What I've been doing there. In the weeks prior.
It's for masking purposes.
There's a little masking. There's a little sexiness. I think a candle,
Candle's very sexy.
Sex by the firelight? Come on.
Yeah. It's like
two animals.
Poor man's fireplace.
That's right. Yeah, New York. I just light it. That's why there's always like those like candle companies that sprout out. They're like, we're the candle for dudes. It's like no one wants to fuck by
wants to,
dirty gym socks smell.
Yeah. I agree. I think there's something very sexy about like women's candle. Like not a manly scented. It can't be like a Yankee candle. It has to be.
I light about 30 candles.
No, you do
it's
not.
as if you're at the Vatican.
You do not light 30 candles. You like one.
One. Single candle. Throw on Guster.
So if someone's at your apartment and the candles are being lit, they'll know what's about to happen.
You know what's going down. That's right. It's like the horse getting ready to fuck at the.
Is that what the horse did?
They start. That's me.
Do they actually neigh like before they're?
I was told it's like a very. They basically have a room where they like bring the horses into. They bring them through different doors. It's a whole process. They told us it was like.
Is there like romancing?
They bring in a fluffer.
Like a feather, feather?
The feather. They feather the nuts. No, the mare comes in. They bring in a male horse to like get her ready, and then the stallion comes in.
Oh, really?
Finishes the job.
That's how embarrassing.
Isn't that right?
For the male horse that does the prep.
Yeah, that guy. Get out of
nice.
here. Go masturbate in the corner.
Honestly, that seems like if you talk about animal cruelty, that seems like the meanest part of the whole thing.
Right. That's someone's gonna be angry about that comment.
Should we cut that? I don't know.
No, listen. Yeah, the first horse comes in, goes down on her, caresses her, tells her how good she looks.
And then she's like, "All right,
Get outta here.
the big guy's coming in.
Bring it in the cock." Let's do another email.
Let's do it. Okay.
UUP@betches.com. Keep sending your emails. We love a specific issue. Specificity.
Nothing better.
We love specificity.
Nothing makes us want to light a candle more
That's
than
right.
specifics.
Candlelit.
Hey, Jane.
Ants marching playing.
That is a good song. For a good sex song.
That's right.
Hey, J&J.
Crash into me. And then I whisper in her ear while it's going on. I really do myself a disservice of unfuckability from this podcast.
What do you mean? You're letting people know all your moves.
That's right.
Hey, J&J, feather, and all. Feather, and all. So my 27 female boyfriend, 33 male, has a 3-year-old daughter he doesn't see. She was an oopsie from a fling, and he's never wanted kids. His mom loves her, and she's at all the family gatherings. But in the almost 2 years we've been seeing each other, he's seen her maybe 3 times. He insists he doesn't know how to interact with kids, and he feels resentment towards the baby mama for going through with the pregnancy, so he doesn't really like seeing her. Silly, as it obviously takes 2 to tango. He's a sweet and caring person otherwise, but this is something that nags at the back of my brain. I think he needs to decide once and for all if he wants to be around, especially as she's going to start forming memories. Obviously, that's up to him, and I can't push him to make a decision, but I want him to at least think about what he's going to do. What can I do or say, or do I just need to accept it if I'm going to continue dating him? Signed, a potential future stepmom.
This is different than what we usually get.
Yeah, this is definitely a bit heavier.
Definitely heavier. I mean, like, it's one of those things that makes me think of, like, you know, when someone's like, you know, it's like, who dates these people? You know, like, I don't mean to be so mean, but like, you would hope. I've never been in this scenario, so I don't know how I would act.
Right.
So I can't be the most judgmental, but I am judging. You know, like.
Well, so is she.
So is she. You're right. You're right. And
she's dating him. So right. I think you, as someone who doesn't even know him, can.
Right. That's fair. Because I hear this story and I'm like, this is so sad.
Yeah.
And the excuse of, like, I don't know how to deal with kids, like, that's an excuse.
That's the worst part.
Right.
Almost,
that's the worst.
Right.
The resentment I get. Yeah. I could understand that, like, the kid makes me so, you know, this isn't the life I plan on having, but, like, you know, at a certain point you gotta
I don't even know what
up.
to do. Right. I don't even know what to do is almost like, I don't feel like that's a real well thought out answer for why he acts the way he acts.
Right. And we can't look at this email and tell her to be turned off. Like,
she is turned off.
It sounds like she is, but I mean, she's still dating him. Like, to me.
Well, you know what I can see? This is as it's sort of like when you first start dating someone and you're like really obsessed with them and you're in that honeymoon stage and you're like, you kind of ignore a little bit of like a red flag for you because you're like, everything else about this person is great and I really am into them, and they don't really speak to the daughter, but like he's steady at a reason, and because you're so in love, you kind of like you're okay with it, and then
you
I
don't
think,
pry because you're like, oh, I guess
it's not really my business yet,
and you go, oh well, I guess he's just not that into it, you know, like but he's probably more into it than I think, you know, like you do that thing.
Yeah, well, also just because you're in that phase, I think, where you were seeing the best in everyone, and then I mean, now they've been dating 2 years, which sounds about right. Where she's like, okay, now I like. That honeymoon phase is a little bit over.
Right.
I still like this guy, but now I'm sort of seeing his flaws for what they really are. And that happens with everyone in all of their, and whatever their flaws are. This is too many, a particularly large one, but it could be, she could replace this with, that thing where he used to like make fun of me in that way. Like now it's actually annoying.
This is who he is.
Right.
There's a moment of this is who they are.
Yes.
In every relationship. This is who they are. This is the cart you've hitched your horse to.
And I think that happens about 2 years in.
Right. No, I think I think if we were going to take it away from this very specific thing, you go 2 years in, you're dealing with something. I don't like this, who they are.
Right.
You know, I don't like this element of who they are.
Yes. And I either need to say, okay, I maybe it's not my favorite thing, but I like everything else and I'll get over it. Or you can say, because that's sort of the point, I think, when you're kind of like, could this be like a forever thing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something happens earlier for some people. But I think that's like almost like the most rational time to make that decision, because 2 years in is when you become like securely attached to someone and you have more of a clear mind rather than in that beginning initial obsessive phase. So I think that she's probably deciding, is this something I can get over? Or is this kind of the thing that's going to always bother me and I don't want to accept it?
Well, I would also wonder, is this how they handle everything? You know,
well, that would,
everything
that
you
would
don't like, is this how you handle it? Like, this is how you handle obstacles? Is this how you handled COVID? Like, COVID is like, I bring up COVID because it was like a surprise to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't something, it was an unplanned thing that we all had to deal with, which is the same as this.
Yeah.
Sounds similar. So you go, you know, there were some people that like burrowed down and didn't do much, you know, maybe lost jobs and they didn't have like a second wind or a left hand or they didn't have a move.
Right.
And you go, that's who they are in the face of things that happen.
Right. And in that even worse, and I feel like in this situation, because it's not like he didn't have anything to do with this happening.
Right.
Which is like sort of an evasion of all responsibility.
Right. And I'm sure she didn't bring up like the money aspect, and I don't know if he's giving money to this person, the mother or whatever. If he's not giving money, that's another element of like, are you not? What's the plan here? Like, I would actually wonder what the plan is.
Right. How does he see their relationship? I would ask him about. That's a good point. I would ask him about how he sees this relationship with his daughter playing out. Is this the relationship that he wants for the rest of her life?
Right. And if it really does turn you off, and it seems like it does because you're writing to us, you have to kind of like look in the mirror. Like, why are you staying with this person that you are really turned off by a huge part of their life and how they handle things? Like, are you with them because they're the option that would be with you?
Right. And you'd have to wonder, like, let's say there was a similar thing that happened with you.
Right.
How would you feel? What would you do?
Right. And what if you two have kids? Is that other kid going to be a part of the, like, I would have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like, I
need a better answer than it's just not my thing.
Right. I don't even know how to turn on Barney. You know, like, I don't know it's just a crazy response.
Well, yeah, like I think it would be a turnoff that they just wouldn't be taking into consideration like the needs of this person that they helped create.
Well, that, and let's make it about the emailer. You're now part of this. You know, if you guys get more serious, you are part of the future of, you're complicit.
Yeah.
You know, like the minute you guys get, so I would be more, they probably feel a sense of like, it's not my place. Mm-hmm. Now it's your place.
In the beginning, maybe it wasn't. Yeah.
Now, every day you guys get closer, it becomes more your place. Okay, I'd like to have kids. How is our kid going to interact with your other kid? I would like to do these 7 things. I'd like to move here. I'd like to move. How does it affect this other child? And it does sound like it lacks emotion and compassion, but you got to get yours too. Mm-hmm. Like, this does affect this person's life going forward. Yeah. I don't know. It's,
I mean, I think that the only way to deal with it is, like you said, to ask him how he sees it playing out.
Right.
To ask yourself if you're okay with that. And then, like, you have to either choose to accept it, which is, I mean, if that's what she wanted to do, if it didn't bother her, if she decided it doesn't bother her enough to break up, then that's fine. Then you have to, like, kind of just accept that about him.
You have to live with the consequence.
Yeah.
You're making a decision too.
Yeah.
This is very different for us. And also,
good question though.
It's a good question. The idea of like, what do you say? Like, I think questions.
Yeah. And again, and I think not letting him just sort of have the cop out of, it's just not my thing.
I'm not.
At this point,
right.
I think you can say, well, like,
pickleball's not his thing.
Right. So don't play pickleball.
Yeah. Not having a kid, and this is life. You know, life isn't your thing.
Right. And dealing with the consequences of your actions isn't your thing. Yeah.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it.
UUP@Betches.com, UUP@Betches.com. We love a red flag deal breaker. We love that these are like user generated.
Yes.
These
and
are
real
some good
stories.
ones.
Yes.
I'll get to the first one. You ready?
Yep.
They lie about their height on the apps. For context, I recently went on a date with a guy who claimed to be 6'1" on Hinge. We met at a bar, and after a couple rounds of drinks, he suggested walking around the neighborhood for a bit. When he stood, it became obvious that he's at most 2 inches taller than my 5'6". The date went well overall, and I'm inclined to see him again. Still, I find it unattractive that he lied. It suggests a lack of self-confidence. Plus, I feel personally insulted that he thought he could pull one over on me, as if I and the other women of Hinge.
The other women of Hinge. Women of Hinge unite.
Women. We shall not be taken advantage of by these short kings. Am I right, women of Hinge?
Ladies of Hinge. Yeah.
As if I and the other women of Hinge have no powers of observation. I understand that he may have felt the need to lie simply to get his foot in the door, since some women have height cutoffs. But isn't that their prerogative? Sincerely, a conflicted batch. What do you think?
I think 5'8" versus 6'1" is an egregious lie.
It's a pretty big one.
Yes.
And he very obviously wants to get over that 6 foot cutoff.
I mean,
to get into the wider this
yes,
is someone
I
who's
understand why he did
gamifying
it.
dating in a way. Yeah, I get it.
But I think it would be a turnoff for me because I'm just one, it's like you're not the height that you said you are.
Right.
And two, the gap is too big. It to me implies a lack of self-awareness because it's so
Right.
big. It's one thing if you say you're 5'11" and you're 6 and you say 6'1" and you're 5'11".
Right. I guess here's from my POV.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of why I would lie. And because I'm not here for the long term. I would think there's an element of like,
you think? I think it's more like she said, like to get your foot in the door.
it is, but I'm saying it's to get your foot in the door of fucking. Like I actually like,
Why do you think it's the person's more likely trying to hook up than date?
because it's like you're built on a lie. If you're lying right away, how much are you really looking to build like an actual connection with someone? You know, because I think of it for myself. Like, I don't want to start something new with someone where there's like lies on the table.
But if you're very insecure, then
Of course.
maybe that's why you would do that.
I agree. I do think that. I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, you know, for as many stories that start, well, on our first date, he said he was 6'1", but he's actually 5'8". Now we're married. There's way more stories of like this guy is 5'8", and when he said he was 6'1", and then we fucked, and then he's gone. Do you know what I mean?
Story here all the time.
Right, I tale as old as time. Beauty and the Short King. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't know. Like it's like if you have the ability to like do that in your brain, I think you also have the ability to like ghost more readily.
Right. Well, you're identifying yourself as someone who isn't the most straightforward straight shooter there is.
Right, you're a con man. You're the music man. You're a snake oil salesman.
And the biggest turnoff, I think, again, is that you're insecure.
Right.
And we're not the first people to say this. Confidence is the most attractive thing. So I'd rather
Right.
have a confident 5'8" person than a.
Yeah, but the confident 5'8" person's at home. He didn't go out on a date. It is either you're not confident, and that like. The fact that they had a good time on the date and he was just like totally cool with this, that is more snake oil salesman than not confident dude.
You
Like,
think?
yeah, there's just an element of
How
like,
would a not confident guy handle that?
I think you wouldn't even be attracted. You'd be like, oh, he was just kind of like, he was
okay.
a dud.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're the guy who lies that says he's 6'1", plays it off perfectly
Okay.
to the point where this woman is debating another date. I'm trying to like speak as honestly on this as possible because this is a real thing. I understand why guys do it. I have never been to me, like, I'm like, oh, fuck, who wants to fuck me? You know, like, I don't want to be on a date with someone that's
kind of
like,
the way to date, right?
Right.
That's like, if you were to think of the most confident way to date is, this is who I am, and if someone's not interested, then I don't want to go on a date with someone who's not interested in who I am.
Right. I guess from where I lack confidence, it would be like, what if I like this person so much and then they're like, ugh, and I didn't even put myself in a position to win.
You mean like once they
they
realize
see
the
me
truth?
and we have a great date and I stand up and they're like, where'd the rest of you go?
Right. No, but I agree that this
You know?
is like someone who's overly confident because they were like charming on the date.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you go, all right, well, if I was on a date with a guy who did this, the immediate would be, how tall are you? Like, I would have to like clear the air.
Well, what if you went on a date? A woman writes that she's 5'11" and she's actually 6'3".
I guess I wouldn't say anything to them because I think that'd be like insulting. But I
wouldn't say anything to the guy
But I'm
either,
5'8.5". You're just taller than me. Like, it wouldn't be if it said that they were like 5'4" and they ended up being 6'2".
Yeah, let's use that.
I guess that would be.
But you had a great time.
I had a great time. The thing is that height thing it's not a factor for me as far as attraction.
Okay.
You know, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know.
But the fact that she lied wouldn't bother you?
I guess not.
Okay.
As strange as that sounds. Like, I would just be like, it would bother me later on.
When you were deciding if you should date or not.
If I should date for real, I'd be like, and is this something that weighs on you?
Well, that's kind of, I guess, a good like evidence for your theory before of like, yeah, you could still hook up. Just like with the woman, you might be like, all right, I'll just hook up. We can hook up.
We can hook up.
Yeah.
And then but that's
maybe
that's
what
a
he
lot
wants.
of guys. It's
Yeah.
like, we can hook up and then we'll see.
Right.
It's I'm here to hook up, but if I find the right person for me, and then you start going, and they did lie about their height. Right. So maybe they're not trustworthy. I don't know.
I think it'd be a deal breaker for me.
It'd be a deal breaker for you.
But also maybe because I'm maybe more particular or superficial about height for myself.
Right. I mean,
because maybe to someone who wasn't, it wouldn't be as big of a deal.
That's the thing. This person is actually not.
Yeah. Well,
that's
what I'm saying.
They're like, they don't have the cutoff.
Yeah.
So they're saying, I ended up on a date with a guy who's trying to lie to other women, but I wasn't one of those women that he was trying to lie to, but he was shorter than he said.
Right.
And you go, okay, well, that to me is more like, beware of your purchase. Mm-hmm. Because the seller is a guy who's out there deceiving women, not you.
Right. Yeah, but I think lying drastically on a date is a deal breaker, no matter what it is. Let's say with his job, anything else. Like if it's close, if you're sort of like exaggerating the truth like you would on a resume, that's one thing. But if you're like making shit up, which this seems more a case of.
Right. Well, I guess for me, and I agree with you, it would be a deal breaker for me. Any lie on the first date, I go, I can't really trust you. You know, like
what's the point?
There was a woman recently that posted in her stories about like liking the special. And then it was like also like tagged me with like, and I'm going to try and go on a date with him. And I was like, this is a really bad way to go about it. I'm not looking to have person from the stories who, like listen, as someone, I'm not everyone's cup of tea either. Like I talk on a dating podcast. I can understand why someone wouldn't want to date me because of that. Again, like the idea of like, and I'm going to try and go on a date with him. And then I wrote to them, I was like, thank you very much for watching the special. I just wrote that. Because they tagged me like 3 things.
Oh, wow.
And then they're like, well, what about the date? And I'm like, I'm very flattered, but like, this is not the way I'm going to meet someone.
Okay.
And I appreciate it. And it, I'm not saying I would have gone out with them otherwise. I'm just saying this specifically made it more of a no for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, if you're posting 3 stories about hypothetically going out with me, what's going to happen when we
and I mean, that's
go
the point.
out?
The point of like early dating is to just judge people excessively.
Totally.
Until you commit, and then you're supposed to stop judging them.
You're supposed to tell them about your judgments.
Yes, and then you can try to change them after that. Yeah.
Let's do another.
Okay. They insist on holding your hand during the first date. Hi, J&J. Last night I went on a first date when we were sitting at the bar, and 20 minutes in, he reached for my hand and proceeded to hold it for the remaining 2.5 hours of the date.
2.5 hours.
That's a very long time.
This is like cuddling the whole night. You go to your side, I'll go to my side.
I mean, that's sweet.
2.5 hours?
I mean, not the hand holding, the cuddling. I tried a few times to detach from his grip when reaching for my drink, but he would always reach for my hand again and preferred to interlace fingers.
Doesn't sound like it was for her.
Which was even less comfortable. Is this a red flag or a deal breaker from someone you've just met for this long of a time period? I'm sending you this email via voice to text feature because my hand is still cramped from holding his all night long. Curious to hear your thoughts. Signed, early onset arthritis.
Well, I think we can tell there wasn't a second date here.
Weird.
It's weird. You know what it is? It's not. First of all, it's uncomfortable. 2 hours of holding hands. Get out of here.
That's excessive.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Even if you were like obsessed with each other,
right?
It'd still be a lot.
It'd still be a lot. Like even if I'm walking down the street with someone I've had a great date with, we'll hold hands. We'll let go. We'll let people pass. We don't have to fucking Red Rover.
Interlocked the entire time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's most of all, it's not knowing the temperature of the room.
Right.
Like where you're like, if someone's like all of a sudden like I gotta hold hands,
taking their hand away, and then you're grabbing it again. 20 minutes into a first date and holding it for that long. When you haven't, I think if you haven't kissed, you get like a little handhold just to show the person you're interested. Maybe like a hand on the leg or something.
Touching a leg, small of the back.
Yeah,
these are all nice things.
For like not prolonged.
Right, yeah. Half a second.
Yeah,
if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a deal breaker for me.
If she's trying to hold your hand,
hey,
and then she grabs it back.
Yeah, no. I'm out of here. Last one. He follows up the first date by sending you his STD test results.
Oh my God.
Is it STI now?
I think it's STI these days.
J&J, longtime listener, first-time writer. It was amazing to see you guys in DC. Please come back. That DC show was so much fun. So great. Awesome. That's where I'm doing stand-up.
At that same venue?
Same venue.
It's a cool venue, too.
Great venue, cool. Cool area, too. I have a red flag or deal breaker for you from a friend of mine. She went on a first date with a guy, and things went well. After the date, he sent her an STD test results summary sheet to show he was clean. There's a little doth protest too much here.
Yeah, this is
They didn't talk about sex on the date and didn't sleep together after the date. She didn't think it was a deal breaker. They did it about 3 weeks before he broke things off. It's a deal breaker for me, though. Ha ha. Curious as to what y'all think.
I'm not surprised he ended. It sounds like there's one thing that he was interested in.
Right.
I mean, this is so lame to me. Like,
it's lame. That's a great word for it.
It's just kind of like it's so presumptuous. It's so like, I think it's a little tacky.
It's jokey in a way that's like actually not a joke.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, I assume they slept together.
Right. I mean, LOL, here's my STD results. And then
Unprompted?
It is them. And then you go, like, oh, I guess you know I'm cool. You know, like,
also, this is clearly something you do all the time.
Right.
Like, you have, you know what I mean? Like, it shows what your interests are. That's why I'm not surprised he broke things off.
Right. Right. This is a magician. Look at my right hand while I do stuff with my left. You know, like, look how upfront I am. Again, doth protest much. What is the great Maya Angelou once said? If they give you their STD results, believe them.
Yes.
That is the truth here, because this guy, if they're talking about sex, they want sex. If that's the first lead.
Honestly, I'd prefer a dick pic. At least they're being more honest.
Right. You're absolutely right. Dick pic is like, I'm here to fuck. You know, STD is like, look at the hero I am.
Yes. Like, I'm safe.
Right.
Whatever.
Come here to my safe home.
Just send a picture of your penis like a normal person.
Yeah. Fucking stop being a weirdo.
What if a woman did this? You had a great first date. You didn't talk about sex. You made out.
I wouldn't trust it. I'd be like, okay. I'd be like the first, the guy who doesn't want the baby.
Send me a pregnancy test.
I'd be like, it's all too much.
Yeah.
It's this like
I'd be like, can you send me your W-2? We're going to be sending.
right. Let me see what I got. More important questions.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to be diseased with your poor. Yeah, it's just like it's like so much honesty that you must be lying
Yeah.
about
Sneaky.
something.
I don't like it.
I don't have an STD, but what I do have is ghosting you. You know, like that's
Yeah.
what it ends up being. But
Exactly. All right. Well, we did it.
we solved dating again. If you are here right now, that means you loved this episode because you made it all the way to the end. Go tell a friend. Share.
Tell a friend.
A coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone who wants to have fun listening about dating stuff. You know, this is what
This is
where
for
you
them
go.
and you. Put it on your story.
Yeah, do that. We love a story.
Love
post.
it. Always repost. And we'll see you on Sunday.
Boom.
The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow @u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.